team when it came to the region, but finally they've been able to find that synergy with Candy and River in the jungle. So of course that's going to be the question, like you mentioned, for Doidoi. Can he actually keep up with River in the jungle and assist Rex in the mid lane as we head into Champion Select?
And now we've seen countless of times where Talon would get a little bit experimental with their draft, like banking on high risk, high reward picks. We'll see whether or not they also approach that sort of mentality coming into this match against Liyab. But now that's going to be a misfortune ban coming from Liyab. That is very surprising.
Yeah, a little rare that we see the misfortune ban, actually, especially on blue side, as it's usually left open immediately. So for Talon, they're also going to go ahead and get rid of the Aphelios. We did see Exozen be able to pick up a win or two on the champion when it's left open for Liyab, so not out of the question for Talon, of course, to ban that out. Unfortunately, unlike a couple of other regions, the Aphelios rarely gets through in the PCS. Olaf and Elise, though, going to be the jungle bans from both sides.
And now we've seen how Kongye managed to sort of throw Liyab off with that Rek'Sai pick. Now we'll see what Liyab decides to do. Earlier, Doidoi opted for Gragas, which is quite different from the usual playstyle we've seen on this player, especially considering, you know, he really likes the Lee Sin, he likes the Olaf, most like a little bit of, what do you call this, of Jarvan 4 here and there, but we'll see, as, again, the dynamics has changed into a little bit more 5v5 rather than a 2v2.
And there is going to be the Pantheon ban, though. That's a bit of a respect ban coming out from Talon. Rex has played that in the mid lane, and Liyab have been able to find some success. Now, that would be a statement coming out from James to pick up the Alistar into Kaiwing. Kaiwing a little bit well known for his Alistar play. But again, a lot of priority, it seems, for this Taric.
Very, very surprising. I mean, it did work. It did work on the team fights that we've seen against AHQ. It allowed the opposing team to hesitate a little bit in going in, and at that point, it also helps refresh your cooldowns for Liyab and sort of stall the fight a little bit more, which they think would be more advantageous for them. And meanwhile, Hanabi may be back on this Mordekaiser.
But that Senna is still open. It did make it through the ban, so it looks like for Talon, Unified's going to have the opportunity to pick up the Senna. I think this is actually his first Senna game. He's had the Aphelios a couple times. Now he gets the next option in the list, which has always been the Senna. I think for Kaiwing, it's going to be likely then the Kench, as that's usually the pairing that we see when it comes to the fasting Senna strategy.
And that would definitely be the approach. It has been working well, especially this combo in particular. Meanwhile, Liyab have locked in their support this time around, and now what would be the option for Exosen, since again a lot is on the line, a lot of weight is on towards Exosen here to get that comfy lane, or else Unified and Kaiwing are definitely very scary. But with the Senna and Tamkench, I think it would be pretty, I wouldn't say peaceful, but at least it diminishes their aggressiveness a little bit.
Well, for Liyab, if the Senna's already been shown here for Talon are already saying, yeah, try us and we'll go to the late game and we'll see how it goes. With that Varus pickup, at least gives Liyab the option, all right, they can look at how they want to play out the game. They can look to say, all right, you know, we'll try and go the on-hit and try and match you in the late game, or we could go lethality Varus and try and just burst you before the game even gets started on your end with the Senna. That, though, for Rex, it's going to be a LeBlanc. It's been a little while since we've seen it from the mid lane. It was one of his comfort pickups earlier on during the split. Has been banned out a couple times, but we'll finally get to see Rex on it once again.
Yeah, it looks like there is not a lot of fear. It is definitely more on this Pantheon pick that Talon decided to take off, and Hanabi back on the Monster Ornn plays. This is definitely going to be scary for Liyab for sure.
Yeah, Liyab right now, you're seeing this composition and you're saying, we can't go late game. We really can't go late game against this composition. You're going to have Ornn items being funneled over there to the Senna, and then likely the mid laner, which I would assume is going to be some consistent damage. Candy, if it's not banned out, I'd maybe expect them to go with the Azir. And then for Liyab too, if you try and go the burst route, well, unfortunately, once, you know, the Ornn gets 2 items, the burst from a lethality Varus and a LeBlanc, he doesn't really care all that much. So I've already seen, you know, Liyab kind of back themselves into a corner where they kind of have to go for this early game where hell, they were able to get AHQ a little bit off guard in game 1. It might work here.
Yeah, and that is the reason why Talon will definitely remove all of these strong level 3 junglers and, you know, Rek'Sai and as well as Lee Sin off the table. So I wonder what Liyab decides to pick up. We've seen the Trundle work a few times, but it is going to be a little bit awkward, especially in terms of, you know, that team fight CC is not going to be present if they do pick that up, if they do consider that.
I like that from Liyab. They actually understand that, you know, maybe Candy is going to go for this Azir, especially when you have an Ornn that he's going to be funneling some items, but it kind of locks them into a corner now where the only next jungler in the pool that, you know, would be considered, you know, up in that tier 1 is this Jarvan. So it's going to actually get picked up here for Talon, and now we kind of have to see something new from Doidoi. We could still see the Gragas. It could happen again, but I'm not sure if I really like it here in the composition.
Exactly. It didn't work out so well, but that would be the next best choice. I mean, you don't have the Olaf anymore. There's a lot taken out. Jarvan is actually taken out, so might as well do the Trundle. Ooh.
I doubt it.
Yeah, we still don't know what Kaiga's going to use. Yeah, it's just a hover.
It's just a hover for now, but already a Poppy here. I'm not sold on this composition, Liyab. You got a lot of pick potential, but if the game doesn't end before that 35-minute mark, I would say throw in the towel, and it's up to Talon to throw away the game to you, as the Poppy's going to get locked in once again.
Yeah, that's, yeah, normally I feel like it's one of those, again, the different dynamics that Liyab has to sort of carry towards this recent matches that we've seen so far. Normally, you know, Renekton is open. It's one of those things that usually the top laners would like to pick at this point of, you know, especially you're going up against an Ornn or probably a range carry at the top side. But Liyab is really playing this sort of strategy against Talon Esports. So now, Lissandra, even for Candy.
We'll see here. Is Candy's going to have Lissandra, and for that in particular, it also provides Talon a lot of lockdown, especially onto any member that doesn't have flash. Like, if you're a Trundle here at this point, if Doidoi isn't going to get a head up in the early part of the game, there's a real big opportunity there for Talon where they're just going to be like, all right, we're going to throw a Jarvan ultimate at you, and if you're still alive, well, the Lissandra's going to lock you down. And even for Rex there as well, the Frozen Tomb can lock him down on this LeBlanc, so it is really important for Liyab to get ahead early in this game. If they're not able to, it should be a Talon win in the very end, unless Talon are the ones to make a misplay.
Absolutely. Again, this is Liyab on a timer once more with this draft, and as well as with Talon, what they have assembled for themselves. And right now, though, a lot of scary team fight for Talon Esports, and Liyab would definitely want to bank on Rex getting that early lead.
Well, we're going to go ahead and load on into the Rift for our second game of the night. See if Liyab can find their victory here. They were close in their last matchup against Talon Esports, so it's not out of the question. We'll see how the team holds up here as they head into their second game back-to-back.
And with that, Liyab entering their second match for the day with 3 members at topside, scouting.
Hey, if it works,
probably getting an exchange move.
Well, that's actually going to pin him into the wall. That's a very nice combo. Lots of CC. That should force out a flash out of Hanabi, so not a bad start for Liyab, but for Hanabi, he's an Ornn. He shouldn't have to use that flash up in that lane, so we'll see whether or not Doidoi tries to make an appearance back up toward the top side of the map, but not a bad little trade to start things off.
Yeah, definitely, especially considering that, you know, Rex is on the LeBlanc. Perhaps, although I wouldn't really count on an early 3-man visit at topside. Depends on how the lane is definitely going to go. Liyab, very sneaky with this one. I don't think they were spotted, though.
Oh, did they?
Oh, they were.
They had to go over that ward because they didn't go through the top side brush. They came down the river, so... Oh, no. This is not a good sign. River and them are going to show late, and that's going to force now Kaigu to have to back off, so... With that, Talon are able to defend their jungle from this Trundle, and unfortunately now that means Doidoi is going to be a little slower on his start on the Trundle, as that does force Kaiwing to have to use his teleport to get back to lane.
Yep, and that was quite a sneaky attempt, but the good side is at least no summoners were burnt. on the side of Liyab, so they completely backed off after spotting Talon Esports on their collapse. And in the meantime, Rex, I do believe, got a head start at least on the lane. So early on, I think Candy would be a little bit more reserved here.
It's been a while since I've played the LeBlanc-Lissandra matchup, so we'll have to see how that one pans out. Doidoi just finishing off his blue, so he's going to be about a camp or two behind as far as pace goes. That should allow River to get a pretty much freely contested Scuttle Crab, either on the top side or bot side of the map if he wishes to, as Doidoi is going to be still clearing out his red buff here. Also means for River, he can make the first strike on the map if he wishes, maybe try and get that bot lane rolling on the Senna, or maybe they're just going to try and hard farm it out to get that level 6 for the Cataclysm.
Yeah, I think River Candy's champion picks for this game is definitely very strong. You have a lot of CC lock, and it's actually pretty telegraphed considering you're up against a LeBlanc. You can either predict force Rex to go back on the distortion, or once Rex distortions forward, it's an easy route for Candy, especially if you want to get that frozen tomb in as well. So at this point, it's kind of hard for Rex to try and burst Candy down because you can use the ult aggressively and defensively, and Rex should be very careful when he goes aggressive.
Even see, Talon, they even expected that there might have been a ward left down in the jungle, so River's going a very far route around. Doidoi here, though, making a beeline, scuttle to scuttle, so River actually didn't try and make this advantage into anything. Doidoi's actually been able to catch up a little bit, so not too bad there. This bot lane, though, it's going to be a bit of a rough time here, as even though he's a Kench, he's still got a little bit of poke, and the root coming out from Unified as well. It's not a lovely time here. There's a reason why his Senna has been banned so much here in the PCS.
Exactly, and it seems to me Liyab is going for that route and being very brave against the combo of Senna and as well as Tahm Kench. And right now, a lot of sustain for Unified and Kaiwing, so they don't really have to worry about Exosen's Q pokes. So that's the strength of this bot lane. And meanwhile, Rex will have the wave crashing towards his own tower. First dragon is going to spawn in the next 30 seconds.
It's been interesting, though, with this shift from Liyab, where they've decided to, run Kaigu up in the top lane. It's pretty much saying, you know what, we'd rather try and focus resources down toward Exosen or Rex here. And Rex is now a little bit on a better playmaking opportunity. Or, hey, they might just try and shut down Hanabi here, as Doidoi was able to find a path toward the top side of the map. There you go. First blood onto the Poppy to start things off here for Liyab.
Beautifully done by Liyab. And at this point, it is more of, yes, they've managed to bait out the flash earlier on, and therefore let's take advantage of that. And that's a nicely done cancel on Hanabi's dash towards the wall for any sort of stun, and great job by Liyab. Very, very clean.
It's not a bad start here. If Doidoi can get ahead on this Trundle, he can become a bit of a monster on the Rift, especially when you're going against, a mobile bot lane with this Kench and Senna. So if he's able to, make an appearance down there, maybe he wants to get another kill on Hanabi. As good timing there, too, because we mentioned Hanabi had to use his flash earlier on in the game, and it's still not off cooldown. So good timing there from Doidoi. Nets Liyab the first blood. It's a great start. Unfortunately, though, it is still even on gold, actually slightly in favor of Talon, just because of the little bit of a CS advantage onto that Jarvan.
Yeah, a little bit of CS advantage on the Jarvan, and as well as the bottom side of the map for Talon. In the meantime, it is definitely almost that 6th level mark, but but now you see Talon placing really nice wards, really nice vision for as Hanabi, when he went back to lane, eliminated the blast cone and as well as placed a ward. So now they know.
And unfortunately there too, with Doidoi being spotted out, that does mean that River is able to just go ahead and start off the dragon. Candy here in mid lane, Rex with a nice little bit of a play. Candy though gets himself back to safety. Still, though, the bot lane was able to get priority, so that means Talon are going to be able to pick up the first dragon of the game, and it doesn't look like Liyab are going to be able to get anything back for it.
Yeah, the attempt on eliminating Candy pre-level 6, I believe, but now both of them are level 6 in the mid lane now. Whew, you saw River very, very low, as Doidoi will secure another Rift Scuttler. Bot lane, no stun.
No stun going to land. Unified still, though, stepping up, and course, for you guys that aren't aware, this is the fasting Senna strategy, where the Kench is going to be able to pick up all the CS, and it's still going to be dropping souls. And for Senna, it's still pretty gold efficient just to get the souls because of the recent adjustments to her passive. So she's still going to be scaling once I think the round the magic number is about 80 souls, and that's right when you start to see the Senna actually start to come online and start farming.
True, and once you complete your support item, I believe that is also the time where Unified will start farming. Unified no mana though. Still a little bit brave, as Exocent and James are quite low as well, so they do have the upper hand. Again, a very safe lane, so Dodoi will definitely have a difficult time and try and be aggressive over there.
Level 6 though for River. Candy also has the Frozen Tomb available. Rex though is just going to stay safe underneath the tower. Lots of vision down toward the bot side of the river, but nothing toward top, and luckily he just keeps underneath the safety, underneath that first tier tower, so doesn't look like River's going to be able to get anything. He's still taking a lot of time here on this Jarvan, so this is one of those long waiting games, it seems, that River sometimes likes to play. He's going to instead back off and actually go for a Rift Herald.
Another Rift Herald. It seems there were a lot of pings coming from Liyab, so they know this is happening. And the wave is shoved in favor of Talon, actually in favor of Liyab. So this leaves Kaigu room to actually approach River.
Unfortunately, though, he'd be going up against 3 members of Talon, so mid lane was able to get priority. Rex actually went back. He's going to teleport in, but it's a bit too late, as Rift Herald is going to go in favor of Talon here at 8 minutes.
I had a feeling Liyab wanted to contest that, especially you saw Kaigu place a Trinket Ward towards the middle of the Rift Herald.
Here's Dodoi, though. That's going to force out a flash off the Ornn. That's actually going to be them hard engaging here, and Hanabi still not using his ultimate. Senna ult, though, is going to be there. Gets the shield on down. They are going to be trading back at least 1 kill. Unfortunately, Kaigu stuck inside the Cataclysm. Gets the shield back, though, and looking to maybe pick up another kill. Rex is here also, and you know what the play is here from Liyab. They just want to go ahead, give the kill over to Rex underneath the tower. Is he able to actually finish it off? There it is. Gets himself to safety with just a sliver of health. And the clone is going to be able to soak up the other additional part of the damage.
I was a little bit worried there, as the QR combo was definitely not enough, as you do want to get that distortion and for safety. And this is actually perfect timing for River, and the Cataclysm will be sort of the downfall of any of the members of Talon trapped there, as it is easy stun, easy ram towards the wall for Kaigu on this Poppy. And this is Kaigu eating a lot of tower shots for Liyab, for Rex. Yeah, and at that point, yeah. The shield, though.
You know, River, he was trying. Enough. He was trying to at least get to safety there with the flash, but unfortunately it's not enough. And Liyab, the top side of the map, continue to go in their favor. Not a bad start here for Liyab. I still want them to be striking early. And again, Talon, they're just going to be on that waiting game as River almost takes the blue. There we go. Candy's going to be able to secure it. And we're going to have Cloud Drake in about a minute, so we already see Talon just looking to set up ward coverage and positioning around the pit.
Yeah, I just want to praise again Talon Esports' ward coverage and pressure in all of the lanes, except for top, because of how the pixel brush wards have been surviving for the past few minutes. So with Talon, do have a lot of information for Riverside. Meanwhile, Dodoi will definitely have his eyes on the dragon, especially Talon got the first one. And at this point, you did mention Liyab will wanting to find these early fights, and dragon is the key.
There we go, though. Kaiwing's going to get caught out, able to flash away to safety. Dodoi, though, wants to position aggressively. Already used the pillar, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to catch out Unify. And that does force out, though, at least the flash out of the Kench. So he's a possible target, maybe coming up toward this dragon fight, which Cloud is going to be spawning just now. You see Liyab, it looks like Rex wants to try and get some damage there on Candy. Actually gets the root, so Rex is going to have to play a little bit safe as he's still waiting on his corrupting pot to refresh his mana pool.
And Subjugate was actually baited out against Dodoi, so that will be a key ult that will be gone against on Talon. On Liyab, rather.
Rexer's going to come on over. Kaiwing, though, and the rest of the squad. Doidoi is just trying to farm straight on into it. River almost able to get taken down here as Rex was close. Sentinel ultimate comes on through. A nice Targ ultimate, though, was able to just soak up a lot of the damage. James maybe getting a little bit too close into the fight. Kaigu still wants to go on forward. Hanabi, though, has been untouched this entire time. Unified on the Senna has a decent amount of consistent damage, and now here comes back the re-engage. Candy able to find himself another assist. It's a double kill over to Unified, and they're going to cut off Exozen. And unfortunately for Liyab, this is not the start they're looking for. A triple kill on the Senna.
Rex didn't have mana at the time, so it was difficult to try and finish all of those low health targets. Meanwhile, Talon's repositioning throughout the whole fight, and the way that they managed all of those cooldowns, despite Liyab getting that jump first on towards them, was just really, really good.
Yeah, you saw there, the target selection, they tried to get on River, but unfortunately, even soaking up as much damage as they did with that Targ ultimate, it doesn't, stop CC, and that's what Hanabi's able to do to help extend the range of this fight.
Yeah, Unified had 0 threats whatsoever, and because of the autos, free autos, you get a lot of Qs out of that, and therefore that's the reason why Talon had a lot of low health targets but still didn't die, especially considering the fact that Rex didn't have mana at that time. He just did one whole combo.
Yeah, and for me too, I have a little bit of a question. Oh, well, there we go. It looks like Riku's just having a couple connection issues. But either way, it's going to be Cloud Drake started up here for Liyab. I also had a question. Rex had Relic Shield during that fight. I'm not sure what the plan was. It looks like he sold it. I don't know if that was an accidental buy or maybe, he's trying to get a little bit extra health. But either way, it's going to be Cloud Drake going in favor of Liyab in the very end of that fight.
Yep, indeed. And with that said, at least they do get that Cloud Drake eventually after that reset of that very, very nice fight done by Talon. But at this point, it was more of they have to be a little bit more worried. Meanwhile, bottom side.
On bot side, that's going to be Unified picking up the kill. And now that is a 4-0-3 Senna for Unified. And Talon, I mentioned Liyab were the ones that maybe wanted to get this game going right away, but unfortunately it looks like Talon are the one that are actually able to find these advantages early.
Yeah, it is starting to get out of control, considering that you have Unified on a Senna that's 4-0-3 at the moment, and that is absolutely scary. Especially when we think about, this team will want to fight as 5v5 later on. And River, again, we did mention how he is definitely going to dictate the pace for Talon, and it has been working well.
And for me now, unfortunately, we start looking toward this 15-minute mark, and you start to say, all right, what is Liyab able to do? Because you're already starting to fall behind in gold. You're already starting to feel like that, unfortunately, as much as I was a big fan of Kaigu when he first made his debut for Liyab this season, after that first game, if he's been put on something that pretty much isn't the Ornn, I haven't seen him be able to make much of an impact. Now, he still has that opportunity when it comes to the later fights, but so far, it just feels like, again, a bit of a mismatch on paper. You do see Talon already. They're just tracking Doidoi on this Trundle. He was able to get a kill early, able to get an assist, but unfortunately he wasn't able to snowball out of control, and Rex has been at least trying his best in the mid lane, but I feel like he's been pretty much neutralized here by Candy.
Yeah, and we were mentioning that Liyab is also, again, on a timer, so it's already at the 15-minute mark. We were worried about the 25 to 30, even the 20 to 25, especially that you see Unified already. His scaling has been propelled after a couple of kills from the initial fight at that dragon. But now, Rift Herald could be the next target for Liyab to at least mitigate the losses that they have suffered earlier.
See Rift Herald pings coming out here. Liyab get inside positioning onto Shelly. River still sticking nearby. Unified and Kaiwing are also pathing up here. James on the flank is going to get spotted out, though, by the Trinket. Kaiwing just wants to go ahead and go for a flank immediately. Kaigu's going to get caught out toward the side. Keeper's Verdict is going to be used. It does punt back Hanabi, but he's still within range to use the Call of the Forge God as he just blasting cones over toward the side. Doidoi trying to look for the steal, tries to go for the 50-50, and it does go on over, I do believe, to Liyab, but the ensuing fight here, the Senna ultimate's there. River goes into stasis, and Liyab are forced to back off. I don't know who got the smite fight in the very end, but still, it's going to continue here as Doido is going to get caught out in the jungle. And unfortunately for Liyab, we'll see on the scoreboard whether or not they were able to secure it. They were unable to, and River is actually going to pop that immediately in mid lane. So they don't even get the Rift Herald for that lone kill also on the Trundle.
Yeah, they managed to, Talon managed to eliminate 2 members from Liyab. Therefore, it just stops Liyab from trying to defend. At least you do have Rex to not allow to get that last charge to maximize that value over that Rift Herald. Let's take a look at this again. So you have Lissandra, you have LeBlanc at the bottom side of the map. So you have a 4v5. And the Keeper's Verdict sends Hanabi off his track, but there's a blast going to immediately join the fight. And Exosen didn't have any sort of front line because Liyab had a very awkward position, just trying to make a pincer, but the collapse would definitely be easier for Talon.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Doidoi, he can put down a pillar, but he can't block off the entire jungle path, and he'll get taken down. It's now a 4,000 gold lead for Talon as they open up the first brick tower in mid lane, claiming that extra little bit of standing gold. And guess what? We're going to have Ocean Drake now in 15 seconds. Ultimates are going to be coming back online here shortly for Talon, so maybe not at the beginning of the fight. For Liyab, there might be that opportunity where they want to try and go for this, as Exon now does have his fork completed on the Varus. Is going to go for that on hit, as long as he doesn't get caught out here, as River is forced to flash away. Almost gets chained down by Rex, so a nice little pick there.
More, let's see, as we see Dodo moving towards the bottom side of the map, as well as Talon.
I've seen this fight before. Liyab positioning just below the pit. Kaiwing gets the tag. They're also going to get the root. Doidoi is going to get caught out toward the side. Also the knockup's there. It's going to be James using his ultimate, and Doidoi is going to survive with just a sliver of health. Teleport is going to be there, and here we go. Liyab are able to find themselves a good victory. Keeper's Verdict, though, ends up punting 2 people toward the side. Kaigu tries to go for a flashy play. Candy goes into the back line. A big frozen tomb, able to do so much damage. And Rex just gets shut down immediately by Hanabi as Unified will finish off the Poppy.
So many people were low from Liyab, and I was a little bit worried that they were wanting to pursue the fight, especially that they've sent off Unified and Kaiwing temporarily as they want to finish off and change targets towards Candy, and as well as, I believe, Hanabi. But again, not a lot of damage still coming off from the Liyab squad, especially that they haven't had the starts that they really wanted to. So at this point, they couldn't really take advantage of their picks.
Yeah, he saw it looked good here for Talon. They're able to they use a lot, actually, onto Doidoi. And I think that's why Liyab were like, all right, we could take this fight. They just use, of course, pretty much all that they had as far as CC goes. Kaigu gets a nice Keeper's Verdict, but unfortunately, you're trying to chase down the 2 tanks here on the side of Talon, and Candy gets a big ultimate off.
Yeah, that is just beautiful to stall and slow the rest of the Liyab members for any sort of potential cleanup. And because of that, Liyab decided to call it a day, and now that's the 2nd dragon for Talon, and that is just wild. Candy Hanabi Unified at the top of the charts.
Unfortunately, the sad fact that Unified only has 38 CS, but he's got himself 5 kills and 6 assists. He's got plenty of gold. He's got more gold than everybody else on Liyab. So we talked about, the fasting Senna, is a little weak in that early game. Well, she's starting to come online. She's starting to farm. She's finished off 2 of her lethality items. Edge of Night's going to give her a little bit extra safety away from Rex. And the options here for Liyab are starting to, dwindle down.
Exactly, and we were mentioning about how Liyab would want to take advantage of the early game.
Oh, Rex trying to defend the top lane, and no, it's not going to be enough. It's going to be the Cataclysm being used. Doidoi, he tries to at least answer back with a kill of his own. He's caught in toward the wall by the Call of the Forge God. He'll also get taken down. Unfortunately, The snowball is starting to turn a little bit into an avalanche here for Talon, as they're also going to be able to take down their third tower of the game.
And we were talking about how Liyab should have the upper hand for the early game, but because of the early kills that Talon has acquired, they completely propel the growth of especially the Senna. And at this point, you can't really sort of take advantage of this LeBlanc pick because Talon is starting to build defensive items already. So the burst is not going to be there for Unified. Edge of Night has been completed.
Tries to go in for the Keeper's Verdict, only gets the support though, and guess what? The Kenj can just rejoin the fight. Candy's on a killing spree as they take down Exosin. That's your main point of damage here for Liyab, as those three members have to back off. Kaigu gets eaten up. It's going to be the Baron here for Talon as they find themselves an 8,000 gold lead, and they are not stopping as Unified goes godlike.
Talon is literally bulldozing over Liyab right now, and earlier the match was quite even until AHQ exploded, but now Talon has complete control, complete comfort. Unified had no deaths, with Rex trying his best to at least chunk down, but we did mention, because this LeBlanc didn't get ahead, there's not a lot of burst damage to go around, with defensive items already being built.
Unfortunately there, like, you can try and do what you can, but unfortunately Keeper's Verdict ends up just punting away the Kench that has teleport as well, so he just rejoins the fight, and Excellent gets bursted down immediately. He's too far ahead in these fights.
Yeah, and the thing is, there were a lot of vision for that sort of play coming from Liyab, and it was easy pickings for the Lissandra, and especially, I don't think anyone from Liyab has worn Cleanse, so therefore any sort of potential escape. No QSS either just yet. So for Talon, if they get you, you're dead.
There you go. Talon now with the Baron buff look to climb over the 10,000 gold advantage mark as things are looking a bit dire here for Liyab. It heavily relies on Talon to make some positional errors, make some misplays. I say 10,000 gold, but you also got to factor in the fact that Talon have an Ornn. They're getting ornaments coming online. He's got 2 already completed. He got Ludens upgraded there for Candy. That Lissandra does a huge burst of damage. It's looking dire here for Liyab, and maybe you're just calling in, putting in the towel, and you're saying, all right, we got to look toward the next 2 games of tonight because this one might be over.
Yep, and it's one of those things on where, what is the decision for Liyab? Do they switch it up for Kaigu at top side and make him play a more carry position to take advantage of, you know, how slow it is at the top side of the map? And that has been working out so well for them at the first week of the PCS, and it seems to be it's looking pretty dire, especially you're up against Talon and at this huge amount of lead.
And like the strength of schedule did help them out for tonight. They had to go up against AHQ first, now Talon, and then next up they have Machi. The top 3 teams in the PCS perfectly lined up that unfortunately their games got postponed, and we got to the point where you got to play out these games. We got no more time left in the regular season as Talon take down first inhibitor in bot lane, rotate toward mid, take down that tower. It's a beautiful Cataclysm from River. There's the Keeper's Verdict, able to actually interrupt the fight for just a little bit longer. Hanabi, though, is still in the middle of the fight. Kaiwing also goes in for the flank on the teleport. Hames is going to get eaten up, and that target's going to be spit up, chewed apart. And there you go, Kaiwing picks up the kill. And Talon keep advancing forward. Still, though, Rex tries to go for the burst, not able to find it. Stopwatch was there. Piercing arrow from Exon. Unfortunately, he's not lethality Varus, so it doesn't do a whole bunch of damage. And you see how much of a heal Kaiwing and Unified are able to get off through this Senna.
And it's not stopping.
They're not over here as Kaigu tries to jump on in, but that might be the nail in the coffin as now Talon still looking for Exosin. He's going to get eaten up here in a second. Unfortunately, he spat out. Unified is legendary. Rex tries to go back to safety. He gets taken down, though, by the burn of Hanabi. And Talon look to finish off this game.
What a game for Talon Esports. And when we look back at when they first met against Liyab, it seemed to be a coin flip 50-50.
Unfortunately here for Liyab, their first 2 games of the night do not go in their favor. Talon, though, are looking to secure possibly that second place position in the rankings. This win will help them in their climb. And for Liyab, it's back to the drawing board once again.
The biggest difference is that when we saw the Talon and Liyab match at the first round robin, it seemed to be very, very insanely close. It was unexpected, unpredictable, but now we have a clear picture that Talon practically won every single lane, won every single fight, which is supposed to be Liyab's strength. And with that, it is going to be a little bit worrisome for Liyab coming against, Machi at their third match.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, they're having to put so much on Exosin, but it's now been 2 games back-to-back where unfortunately he's been caught out with some of his positioning. He's been using his flash very liberally, and unfortunately it's costed him quite a bit when it comes to the team fights ensuing after. So I don't know what the answer here is for Liyab. They're still going to be playing Kaigu in their next match. They are playing Kurd against Nova at the end of the day, but when you're looking toward your third match here against Machi, you're opting for this lineup that you think has a better team fight, but we just have not seen it.
Indeed, and this was the fight near the dragon, as we saw Hanabi quite safe. Rex didn't have mana at this time, so he only had one more spell. He actually already unleashed a combo, so it was a little bit too late. Liyab, Hamas was quite low, but the heals were there. It was all about waiting for the cooldowns at this point. But Unified was untouched in this whole fight, and he kept healing his comrades, and therefore Liyab couldn't finish anyone off.
Yeah, like the target selection from Liyab, unfortunately, just were never in your favor. And once Asena gets a triple kill before 15 minutes, you pretty much throw in the towel. As you can see that gold graph just tumbling in favor of Talon after that point. And Unified doing so much damage there on the Senna. That's absolutely ridiculous for considering the fact that he just got ahead so far.
Indeed, and it's even the very fast game too. It was 26 minutes. We usually see this in around 30 to 32. Talon, again, very confident, has managed to adjust, and I think it is definitely more of Liyab knowing that they are going to be aggressive, they're going to be yanking nonstop. They've really selected a lot of the safe picks for lanes for Talon, and therefore sort of cornered Liyab a little bit into their composition, and therefore if it doesn't work early, then it's not going to work later.
So with that, Talon are able to secure the victory. That will actually boost Talon now to a 13-4 record. There is the possibility, actually, that they could tie with Machi if Machi actually lose their game up against Liyab coming after the break. So for HQ, they're currently hoping that Machi can lose out on that one. Talon, there's still a fighting chance they can get up to second place. They got to continue their win streak with the next 2 games tomorrow, and MVP going to go on over to Kaiwing.
Awesome sauce from Kaiwing, and he was definitely such an annoying frontliner against Liyab. He was just practically there, very persistent, despite getting that keeper's verdict away from on towards Kaiwing. He's just gonna be there and protect the carry, and he did a very, very good job just making the bot lane of Liyab their lives hard.
Again, not a fun time. Not a fun time for Liyab during this game. Especially using that Kench was able to get some good flanks off, also running the teleport, so it was very hard to get away from him. And now you got to ask, what is the current situation for Liyab when it comes to the playoffs? And we can take a quick look at that before we end up going into the break. If you see green on your screen, that currently means the team is locked in. So 1-5 has been locked into playoffs. Liyab now currently sit at a 5-10 record. If they are able to secure at least one victory, they can force a tiebreaker with HKA and J-Team if they lose their matches tomorrow. So Liyab, magic number is 2. That will at least guarantee a playoff slot. If not, though, they're relying on HKA and J-Team to be ones that fall.
Yeah, exactly. And then at that point, if HKA and J-Team manage to get a win, then they're forced to get 2 wins, but at the expense of Resurgence or Nova, which Resurgence is also banking on winning every single game.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, though, it is going to be Liyab once again taking on Machi.